I am introducing what we call, I don't know how to call it, but let me say data driven agriculture. Or let me just say agriculture in general, or agriculture and tech and data. And I have so much to say, and I was even confused. I didn't know exactly where to start from. Now, when you talk about agriculture, probably there is something that comes to your mind. The first thing that comes to your mind. What is the first thing that comes to your mind? Anyway, by the way, when you talk about agriculture, what is the first thing that comes into your mind? Uh, in the past, probably it would be about that kind of profession or venture that is not that profitable. That kind of profession that is kind of reserved for the older generation. That kind of profession that is reserved for probably people who did not like um, get something else to do. That kind of profession where you resort to when you really do not have anything else to do. So that is the kind of perception that I bet up to today very many people do have, because agriculture was given a certain stereotype. It was given a certain image that made it a very unattractive, I can say. So growing up, I never thought that I would come to talk about matters agriculture. I was looking at myself. I want to be a pilot. I probably want to be an engineer. I want to be this, but I never thought about these professions. At the end of the day, they come and intersect at a certain point, because even if you did some engineering, or even if you did photography, or whatever you did, at the end of the day, you're a computer scientist and all that. At the end of the day, we'll just come and meet at the same ground, at the same platform. So I grew up not really admiring agriculture. It's all about that, and using, it was labor intensive. But what has really changed? A lot has really changed in the agriculture spectrum, and you know, we are on the planet Earth, and the resources keep on diminishing, and at the same time, the population keep on increasing. So it calls for different people and stakeholders from different professions to come together, to try and optimize the available resources so that I can be able to feed the ever increasing population. So it has seen a lot of people come into the agriculture spectrum and trying to find their niches there. So we have computer scientists, programmers, can say GIS and remote sensing specialists. I am one. Even photographers, somebody is just focused on taking food photos, or just doing photography about agriculture and landscape and all that. So agriculture has really changed, and we are now embracing more of technology. We're embracing stuff to do with artificial intelligence, machine learning. We want to predict yields. We want to classify crops. For the government to understand the type of crops grown in a place, and the estimates, so that they can be able to plan themselves. Also, because of food security issues, so that they'll be able to know, do we have enough in the country, or do we need to import, such kind of stuff. So agriculture has changed, and it is time for, I'm particularly encouraging young people to think about it, to think about turning their professions and seeing and finding niches along the agriculture supply and value chain. Come up with innovative and creative solutions, because that is what is needed at the moment. So from time immemorial, agriculture has just been agriculture. It has been like an experience. We do not we do not employ a lot of science in it, but you know, when you're growing crops and all that, there are many factors that do coalesce together to be able to give results. So we have temperature, rainfall, we have so many other factors, and we also need to do stuff like we factors like soil and all that, and the issues like or soil testing and all that, so you'll be able to understand the status of your soil before planting any kind of crop that you want to plant, so that at the end of the day you know how to apply fertilizer and all that. We have what you call variable application of fertilizer and other inputs into your farm. So it is a science, and I can say that it is time for us to start talking about agriculture. Let us create content in the agriculture spectrum. Um, and in this video podcast or vlogs or whatever it is, I'll be focusing more on that, trying to see the kind of innovations that have been brought into the agriculture spectrum, trying to talk to who is who in the in this agriculture field. We have agronomists, we have the farmers themselves, you know we have people who deal with irrigation, greenhouses. We have those people who have gone to tech, creating mobile apps to detect pests and diseases, using remote sensing technologies to classify crops and to do all those kind of stuff. You know, we even have what you call digital extension services, where many people do have phones these days, and with the proliferation, that word, of technology, of mobile phones and technology and all that, we get that we can be able to reach out to many people, our farmers, through internet, or let me say social media platforms. We have so many people today who are using social media platforms. Ever heard of Mr. Agriculture in Twitter, Mr. Horticulture in Twitter? These are the kind of people who have embraced technology, and they're now using technology to help other people understand and get into the agriculture spectrum, and also help give tips to people, agronomic tips to people, so they can be able to increase their yields and all that kind of stuff. So, welcome. If you have any ideas that probably you want to share, then you're welcome, because I'm going to start. I really do not know how to start, but I just say that I'm going to start.